Well, Neil, it's something that we can't put off, the idea of needing to save for our retirement. And I know the moment I became old, it was when I was out somewhere and I was about to buy an expensive drink. And I thought to myself, well, what if I didn't buy this drink and I put it away in a 4% savings plan? How much money would I was suddenly going, what am I buying this drink for? And then I realised, I've become old. I'm not thinking about a good time. I'm thinking about my retirement.
Can I tell you something? And this is as real as it gets. Yesterday, I was talking about a little payment that I was supposed to make to my credit card. The due date is later this month, right? And I was trying to fiddle with my app and I ended up paying the 9,000 odd bill. And then I was like, wait, this bank gives me 5.25% interest, which is an annual interest. So divided by a month, divided by the number of days that is remaining. I said, I actually gave away 60 dirhams of saving because I paid my credit card bills early. What was I doing? And I was like cursing myself yesterday for 60 dirhams that could have been a potential saving.
You've become old, Neil.
Well, I mean, I think I'm getting wiser.
Well, for more details about your investments and also your savings, or maybe you're looking for advice on the requirements for saving visas, you're looking for advice on the visas and how to retire here in the UAE, we are joined in the studio by the General Manager of StashAway across the Middle East, Joseph Elam. Thank you very much for joining us here in the studio.
Hello, thanks for having me.
This is fantastic. So you've set up this company called StashAway in order for people to help plan for their retirement, to renew and revise their financial plan. Where was the origin? How did you come up with this company?
Yeah, so first of all, StashAway is a Singaporean company, born and raised in Singapore in 2016. And then we expanded to Malaysia in 2018, and then here in the UAE in 2020, and also in Thailand and Hong Kong in 2021. So essentially, it's an investment platform where it gives the ability to all kind of investors to invest towards their future goals, whether it's short-term or long-term. And essentially in a pre-constructed portfolio. So the way it works is when you sign up on the platform, we ask you questions like what's your age, your annual income, if you're married or do you have kids. So we'll profile you as a person, and based on those answers, we'll then recommend a certain risk rating. Either you're risk averse or risk taker or anything in between. Every single risk bucket has a pre-constructed portfolio for you to invest in. That's the business model.
Now, every time anyone says that, hey, this is a trading platform, and in today's time and age, you get 7 calls every single day saying that, hey, we have a trading platform and we'll help you make more money. The first thing you want to say, no, thank you so much, but I want to understand my finances my way.
Exactly.
Right? But when a preset platform like yours comes in, how does it work for someone who does not understand financial investments at all?
Well, first of all, the app is built in a way where everything is there for you on the application. You don't need really to interact with any human being. But if you still want help, you can just give us a call. We'll answer the phone in 8 seconds.
8 seconds.
Also on the platform, there is an in-app academy where you can just watch bit-sized videos about the essence of personal finance. So how to start saving, how to start investing, what's equities or bonds, all the kind of financial assets out there. So we also help you and guide you towards making a better decision towards your finance.
Joseph, it almost sounds too simple to have to advise people on how to save. Is it as simple as sitting down and telling them, look, you need to start spending less than you earn and you need to be able to start putting something away? Do you need to actually go back to the basics for some people like that?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, even people when they started their career, or even people at the end of their careers, at the end of the day, we can advise as many people as we want, but at the end of the day, someone should have their own intentions to start and build this, whatever plan they have towards the future. So it all goes back to you.
So when it comes down to the UAE, they've released their new 5-year retirement visa. Now, we should refer, you're not a visa expert, but when you're looking for financial advice, what are the best ways to help plan for those new retirement visas in the UAE?
So, first of all, the requirements to get this visa is for you to either, on an age side, you need to be above 55 years old or having worked 15 consecutive years, either in the UAE or outside the UAE. Second of all, you need to have at least 1 million dirhams in your savings, or invested in a property in the UAE, or 20,000 dirhams of monthly income. Now, we don't all have 1 million dirhams just like that. So we probably need to save towards that and even build towards having that 1 million dirhams. So we need, I think, to go back a bit to the essence. And I just want to take a bit of a step back and talk about your priorities as a financial goal. So before even considering planning for your retirement and putting money towards any financial goal that you have, you need to set your priorities. Number one, you should be clearing all kind of your high interest debts. If you have a credit card debt or a personal loan, that's the first thing that you should be clearing when receiving your income. All right. If you have a car loan or mortgage, that's fine. That's not really considered high interest. Step number two is planning enough for an emergency fund or a safety net. And I think one of the lessons that we learned from the COVID period is that unfortunately a lot of people lost their jobs. So they did not have enough savings on the side to sustain the similar lifestyle. That's why an emergency fund is very, very essential, and it's between 6 to 9 months worth of your expenses. Step number three is to plan enough for your retirement. It comes before buying that car and buying your home and so on and so forth, right? Because usually human beings tend to plan for short-term goals, something that will come quickly. But we tend to procrastinate when it comes to long-term. Because if you want to buy a car, you can get a car loan, right? You have an alternative for it, right? If you want to buy a house, you can have a mortgage. If you want to send your children to university, there are scholarships or student loans.
Yeah.
But no one is going to give you money to retire. You cannot knock on the door of the bank and say, hey, I want that 1 million dirhams for my visa, right? No one's going to give it to you. You need to build for it yourself.
So when you say you have to build it for yourself, and now we shall focus on that one aspect, which is, something that we don't really look into, the retirement plan. At what age, or rather, I know at age it should be the earliest, but it's someone who's not started at the start of their career, someone in their mid-30s maybe, is listening to us right now and thinking that, hey, you're right. How much is the right amount that one needs to bare minimum start saving month on month to ensure that they hit that sweet spot of 1 million dirhams?
All right. I think I'll dissect your question here into number one, in terms of age, or let me start with how much you need. First, you need to sit down and properly budget, right? How do you properly budget? If you don't know, there is an easy way to do it, is the 50-30-20 rule.
Okay.
50% of your income goes to your essentials, your needs, what you want, right? So it's your loans, your rent, your food, grocery, transportation, so on. The second one is the 30% goes for your wants, whatever you want to spend on. It's the travel, the shopping, the entertainment, so on and so forth. And then 20% goes to your savings. Okay. You can split it into multiple ways. Your investment part, your saving part, but that 50-30-20 pie chart is not set in stone. If you can't save 20%, that's not a problem. Maybe start with 5 and you see next month, okay, I can maybe put 10. Go ahead, put 10. Maybe if it's too much for you, go back to 7 until you find your allocation. So this is how you can come up to how much money you need. On the point of age, let me give you just a small example here. Let's assume you want to get this 1 million dirhams, all right? By the age of 65, that is approximately the age of retirement around the world. And today you are 25, you just graduated from university, you landed your first job. All you need to do is put 500 dirhams in an investment fund that will get you 6 to 7% returns per annum, and you'll get there over 40 years. But then you can tell me, hey, I'm young, I'm 25, I want to spend that money, right? Or maybe I don't have it because my salary is not enough. You decide to wait 10 years, you're 35. Now you need to put 1,000 dirhams to achieve the same goal in the similar fund. Different responsibilities. You maybe have children. You're putting down your down payment for your mortgage and so on and so forth. You decide to wait another 10 years. Now you're 45. You need to put down roughly 2,500 dirhams. You decide to wait another 10 years. You're 55. That's 5,000 dirhams. So I'm not saying that if you're 55, it's too late for you. That's not the aim of the message. What I'm saying is that today is the youngest that you can ever be. If you haven't started today, tomorrow, just tomorrow, is going to be more expensive. Imagine what 10 years, 20, 30, 40 can do to you.
Are you scaring me now?
I'm not trying to scare anyone. I'm just trying to open your eyes, right? So if you haven't started today, it's the best
habits. So it's almost the best way. You just got to get into that habit. And like what you said, maybe you can't do 20%, but it's a great way to get into that habit of starting to save 10%. And then in 12 months' time, you'll reassess and you go, hang on, look at all this money, and then I'm better off than I was the year before. And that will then snowball and get you into those better habits.
When you start and you have that commitment and dedication, that's the essence of personal finance, to be committed and dedicated, right? And when you get the ball rolling, you will find different ways to save from other places. I mean, just a small example. I know a lot of people that have Netflix subscriptions and then Amazon Prime and then Shahid. You don't need all of these platforms. I'm not trying to diss any of the platforms. It's just like you don't need to watch all of them at the same time. Yeah. How can you prioritize?
Just get a different one each month.
Yeah. And just before we started, you had a brilliant example of the coffee, the drink that you have.
Yeah.
Similar thing. A lot of people get coffee in the morning instead of buying that coffee. Maybe you can do it at home.
Well, does it come down to? When I had a financial advisor tell me, when I was first starting to work, it's amazing how many people don't do a monthly budget or don't do a weekly budget to just work out what's coming in and what are my expenses.
Exactly. Yeah. That's super important to do. Even if you don't have that Excel or even like your journal.
Do you have that? Do you have an Excel spreadsheet?
I do have. Well, it's not maybe in the most detailed one, but at least it's there, right? And you don't need it to be super.
I bet it's pretty detailed. I bet you got some heavy macros.
You know what I do? It's super easy. I just download my statement from my credit card. So I have 2 credit cards. So I just download those statements. I put it there, and I say how much I'm spending, and I put my income there, and that's it. And then it categorizes itself by that 30-20, 50-30-20 pie chart. That's it.
I always used to wonder, whenever they give you the credit card statement, why do they give you the option of putting it in Excel? Now I know.
No, there we go. Yeah, exactly.
But then tell me something, every time any app, once you think that, hey, okay, so this app is going to help me, there is a bank, or rather there are some 27 banks that are always telling you that, hey, put money with us and we'll give you whatever interest and all of that. And there are fixed deposits and these instruments are there. The trust historically, or because the way we are wired, bank is the first thing that comes to our mind,
yes.
Right?
You're right.
But it does not necessarily gives me the best returns.
True.
Right?
So when it comes to trust and your ease and comfort of using a financial institution, I think you need to ask yourself a couple of questions before getting started. Number one is that company regulated?
Right.
So here in the country, we have a couple of financial regulators, such as the central bank, the DFSA and the GIFC, FSRA and AGGM. Ourselves, StashAway, we are regulated by the DFSA and the GIFC. So that's your first question you should be asking. If you're regulated by something else that you don't know, just don't avoid it, right?
Yep.
Number two, something that you should be really asking yourself is, what is that financial institution doing with my money? Where is it being kept? Who's the custodian, right? We've seen early 2023, a bank in the US that went bust because they were mismanaging client assets. Similar thing with the crypto firm that also, the same thing happened, right? Because they were mismanaging client assets. So the second question you should ask that financial institution: what are you doing with my money? Where is it being kept? In the case of most companies in the GIFC, we have something called a custodial structure, which means that if the company ceases to exist, the money is always stored with the custodian bank. So here, those are the questions that you can get started with. If you're comfortable, then this is where you can get started with that financial institution that can give you a bit better returns. And when it comes to investing, and especially in our types of, in the fintech world, we always tend to simplify the life of the customers. And what is a fintech essentially? Is a company that has used tech to simplify finance, which has been caused by the big guys, the banks, right? So we always try to simplify it. So that's why on the platform, like StashAway, we don't offer any kind of minimum. So you can just start even as low as 1 dirham if you want. The fees are very, very low. There are no lock-in period. You can withdraw at any point in time. So we give the flexibility and we give the control back to the customer.
Well, is the investment done in what markets? UAE markets, US markets?
It's a global market. So you're invested in across all geographies. And that's the essence of also investing, to be diversified across not only asset classes, but also geographies and industries.
Right.
That's what we do.
Well, we appreciate your time. If anyone wants to get in touch with you, the website is StashAway.ae.
Yes, it's StashAway.ae, and we're also going to offer a promo code for your viewers.
Please, what's the promo code?
So if you guys are listening in, just reach out to us on WhatsApp, say that you've listened to the to the show today, and we're more than happy to waive your fees for the next 6 months.
Oh, wow.
So just let us know.
So what's the promo code?
They will just type it in. We've looked at we've listened to the show and we'll apply one for you.
Okay, great. Just mention you've listened to the show.
Yeah, exactly. Just mention on the website you listen to the show, and we'll take care of the rest.
Well, Joseph, he's been able to break it down so easily. That's why you should get in contact with StashAway. Joseph Alam, congratulations on your success.
Thank you.
And for coming in. That website again, Stash.